Hey guys, it's Chris03 here, and this is race 6 of F1 2021 Season 1 Feeling Racing League. We're going to Austria, Spielberg, Red Bull Ring, and hopefully it's an eventful one with a win. So we load in into Q1 full qualifying, and as you can see it is going to rain, so I decided to put my setup on straight away and get out on track as it might rain towards the end of Q1, and that's exactly what I do right now. The mechanics are getting every gear off and we're gonna get out on track. We'll see now, getting let out of our garage. It's very overcast, and I think rain will come just at the end of this session, which means I have to do just this one lap, get through on this set of tires, and get into the garage and sit it out for the rest of the time. Okay, so we're here at the end of our lap in Q1. Pretty clean lap, nothing special, as we're gonna get held up slightly by the Alpine ahead. Shouldn't be a big inconvenience though, as we're gonna cross the line. What is it? Fastest for now, 1044. Pretty decent lap time. I think it should get us into Q2 easily as we skip towards the end of the session. As you can see, I was right. It is raining as we load out of the session, and what is it going to be? We finish P4, 3/10 off, but that's nothing special because the rest of Quali is going to be wet. And here we are straight at the start of Q2 as I go out straight away to as the conditions will get worse towards Q2 and then later Q3, so I want to get out as fast as possible to get the best out of the worst. But actually, as the rain isn't coming down that heavily for now, as we get out on intermediate tires, a few guys out already. They want to use these conditions as well to set the best lap time possible, as well as my teammate who is right ahead of us. And at the end of our out lap then, as our teammates let us by, and let's see, we're gonna go into sector 3 now. It's much more understeery as the setup is prepared for dry weather, not wet. And we start our first of a few lap times on these tires, as I always put more fuel in. As you can see, 5.5 laps, which will allow us to do a couple more laps. And now we're at the end of our first lap. People are setting fastest lap times. 1:12.4 is the quickest lap time right now as we round off the final corner. Really difficult understeer kicking in, and what is it gonna be? 1:12.5, 1/10 of the quickest lap time right now. Let's see how much we can improve as we go slightly wide. That doesn't gain us much time, and we at the end of our lap 2, almost a 10th gain, but we lose it through the last corners. That there's a lot of understeer in the car. Still brake too late, not used to the conditions, and we're gonna go across the line barely improving as we fall into 6th place and start lap 3 on these tires. The tires that I'm on don't matter really, as the race is supposed to be dry, so it opens the strategy play and we won't have to use these inters at the start of the race, as we gain a 10th already at the beginning of our lap. A 10th gain in the first sector, but we lose it slightly in turn 3, but we gain it on the exit. We're still about a 10th up, nearly a 10th up, and we head into these corners, gain a lot on the braking, a lot more confidence in the car. The car is finally turning in more as we have 1.5 tenths gained heading into sector 2. Again, gain on the brakes, gain on the exit as well, 2/10, and another purple sector as we head into sector 3, 2.5 tenths gain, and the 2 last high-speed corners to go. Let's see if the understeer is going to be in. No, the car turns in pretty nicely, 2/10 gained, And let's see, final corner, don't make a mistake, and it's 3/10 up on a previous lap time, which is going to be fastest of all. That was a decent lap, but we get beaten by the McLaren straight after we crossed the line. But that was a good lap time. I felt really comfortable on that lap, and we skipped towards the end of Q2. And as you can see, down to 7th by the end of it, but we're safely through. As I feel like I'm slightly repeating myself right now, but we get out right at the start of Q3. As you can see, the conditions are getting a little bit more treacherous. It's raining more and more as puddles start forming on track. Let's see how the conditions are on the lap. As we are at the end of our outlap, it is raining more than in Q2. It might be even full wet weather, but not quite yet. As I choose the Inters, as they were still feeling pretty decent on the lap. It wasn't anything special, but now we get onto our flying lap. Going into turn 1, the turning is still there, so these tires are still pretty quick. Go slightly too wide on the exit, but that won't matter as much as we climb up the hill up to turn 3. Set a purple sector, but someone beats it straight after we cross the detection point, as we have a small twitch at the exit of turn 3 and heading downhill now towards turn 4. Let's see the braking. It has to be really confident. Don't go too late, as you're going to end up in the gravel. We'll ride the curb slightly to help the turn in, but no problems for now as we head into the heart of sector 2 to the 2 quick corners. You need a lot of turning as there's a lot of understeer and there's wet conditions, as we set a purple second sector now and it's not beaten by anyone, and we head into sector 3, the 2 quick corners at the end of the lap. Let's see, good turning, kiss the curb on the entry and go wide on the exit. Again, kiss the curb on the entry. You were slightly too wide on the exit, but that shouldn't hinder us too much. And we go fastest of all, 13.4. Let's see if other guys improve as the conditions are really getting treacherous as we spin off and hit the wall on the attempt to our second lap. That's not good. That might hinder us a bit as we won't improve as the conditions are getting worse and worse. And as you can see, the wets are becoming the faster tire at the end of Q3. Let's see if anyone improves, but I don't think that will happen. As we go towards the end, we're still on provisional pole position. Let's see, I don't think the full wets are faster though. The conditions aren't that bad. Let's see, are we going to take it on pole for the 2 weeks in a row? Let's see, as the Alpine has issues. But no, we get beaten by the McLaren at the end. 27 thousandths of a second. Imagine if we had our second lap. That was so close. 27 thousandths. That is mad. We were so close to pole position around Austria, but it gets snatched away from us at the last second on the full wet tires. I imagine if I didn't spin it at the end, but you know, the points are given out for Sunday.
Welcome to Spielberg for another exciting Formula One race. This circuit is renowned for its backdrop, surrounded by natural beauty. Well, it certainly is an idyllic destination for the Austrian Grand Prix. It's one of the shortest laps on the calendar today then, with 7 rights and just 3 lefts, making up the 10 corners of this high-speed circuit. Turn 2 is barely a corner at all. They'll be flat out through there, a left-hand kink into the uphill braking zone of Turn 3. Turns 1, 3 and 4 are all potential opportunities to overtake.
As we are here loaded on the grid on the strategy screen, as my engineers propose a 2-stop strategy. I don't know why that's it, as it is possible to do a 1-stop from soft to mediums around Austria, and that's exactly what I'm going to try. And the other strategy, I think I'm going to compare it to a 2-stop soft medium, and it says that the 2-stop is faster, but I don't think so. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try and compare the two strategies, which one is faster, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna switch it onto the one stop. It's more risky, but if you can hold it up on one set of tires, it's always quicker, as one extra visit to the pit lane is 20 seconds worth of time. We're just gonna see how big the degradation on these tires is today. As we line up for the start of the Austrian Grand Prix, we have to hope for a good getaway to get ahead of the McLaren. Hopefully that will happen as we line up to our grid box in second place. As you can see, the tyre marks did a pretty big burnout at the beginning of the formation lap to heat up the rear tires, as it is slightly overcast, which means the temperatures might be slightly down as the green flags are out. And we're gonna go to the 5 red lights, and it's 1 light, 2 lights, 3, 4 and 5 as we apply slightly the throttle. Let's see, full throttle now, and we get a great getaway. We're ahead of the McLaren. That was a great start from me as we get through turn 1 in first place, as the McLaren is going to try and back now. He's trying round the outside. Is it gonna be worth it? We outbrake him slightly, get to the apex first, and we are ahead of him. And we're gonna get downhill now into turn 4. He's gonna try the inside now. I don't think I'm gonna defend that much though. Let's see, I'm gonna try, but he's gonna squeeze me out to the outside and he's through. But I know he has way more pace. So if I'm gonna stay in his DRS, it's gonna be beneficial for me, as we're gonna get dragged away from the rest of the grid. And we are here at the beginning of lap 3. As you can see, DRS is enabled and I have a very quick Alpine on the back of me. And as you can see, I'm not using ARS, I'm just letting him by, because another guy, he is really quick today. And we're gonna use him as a horse and carriage right now. He's gonna try and drag me up to the McLaren to try and overtake both of them, as he had more pace on the 2 laps before. There was no point of fighting him. I'll just lose more and more time, and it might have ended in a collision, so I wouldn't risk it. And that's exactly what I do, and let him by. And we are at the end of lap 7 on to 8, and the McLaren and the Alpine were fighting a lot, overtaking each other, and that enabled me to stay within their DRS. I'm 7 times behind, which is nice and safe distance, as they lose time behind each other. And the McLaren is gonna go for a move, but the Alpine switches him back. Is he gonna fight it again? Switch back on the 8, because I get really close to the guys ahead. They lose a lot of time fighting each other, and that invites me into their game. As we are now on lap 9, now the McLaren is ahead of the Alpine. Will he try and attack him into turn 3 here, as we have yellow flags behind us? Let's see, will he be close enough? No, he is not. And we go really late on the brakes and nearly smash into the back of the Alpine. That was really, really close, but nothing done. We are still behind these two guys. I'm slightly faster, as you can see. He has been able to pull away, and now we have blue flags already. It's lap 9. The Red Bull has to let us by, as he is right on the side by side into here. We had to push him wide slightly, and we get into sector 3 behind the Alpine and the McLaren. I lost a little bit of time, but not much. I'm still within DRS as the McLaren slows down. Don't know what's happening. I let him by. Don't know. The Alpines overtook him. Let's see. As the McLaren has DRS but doesn't push. He's really slow on the straight. I don't know what to do. I want to go down the inside, but that's not the move, as he hits us. And we spin, and the Ferrari behind us hits us into the rear. That should be front wing damage for him. That wasn't good, as the Mercedes overtakes us, but he's up to first place. What is going on today in the lobby? Why is he into first? Why am I into first? How is he 12th now? What is going on here? I don't know, as we're gonna pass the safety car. Why is the safety car out? There's no yellow flags. What is happening? that might be the reason why the McLaren was really slow. He was slowing down for the safety car Delta, but for us it wasn't out. As you can see, the leaderboard is going crazy. I'm still up to first place, but that's probably going to end soon as the leaderboard is going to fix itself. As we get on the curb and get spin. Yeah, that's not good. I think the rear tires were slightly hot, and the safety car comes out right now. Really late for us. Don't know what the glitch is. But now we're behind the safety car. And I think we're gonna box and listen to our engineer, who is giving us a new strategy as the tires are getting really used now. As you can see, they're overheating, the turning is nowhere. But I think I'm gonna go onto soft tires to get better tires for the safety car restart. Also, a two-stop soft medium is possible, as we can stretch these tires to lap maybe 24, 23, and then put on mediums at the end for the final stint, as the boys change the tires for us. 2.6 seconds, decent pit stop, and we get out on track in P5. But a few mistakes on that lap. First, a glitch with the safety car that technically didn't come out for us, but it was out on track. And then the spin towards the end of the lap. As we skip towards lap 14 now. Again, sector 3, as we have an AlphaTauri maybe going for a move. No, but there is another safety car out as I check the state of my tires. But I think it was even slightly too late to come into the pits at that moment. Let's see, the end of the safety car now. Lap 17. My tires slightly used now, but we still need to start it to the lap 23, 24 to have the medium tires ready. Let's see, as we on the safety car restart, the AlphaTauri might go for a move as I go slightly wide to get a better exit, and that's exactly what we get. And we're right at the back of the AlphaTauri, but he uses a lot more ERS than us to get ahead of us. Gonna try the inside line, no, back out of it, but the Alpine goes through and hits the AlphaTauri on the rear end. That's his damage, as we could see the end plate fall off of the front wing of that Alpine. Well, that's damage for him, and he has to box again, as he probably can't drive as quickly with that damage. That's gonna hurt his race a lot. And now we move on to the end of lap 18 onto 19 as the AlphaTauri makes a move on the Mercedes. That was a decent move in turn 1 as we go slightly wide on the exit, but that doesn't hinder us too much as we get a pretty good run on the Mercedes. But we have an AlphaTauri, another one on our left, as he's gonna go on a dive down the outside, but the Mercedes ahead hits the other AlphaTauri and makes a stop on track. I need to go into reverse gear, and we lose like 5 positions in one turn just because the guys have spun ahead of us. That's hindering our race. This race is so unlucky for us. Another issue on the track which shouldn't have happened. That was so messy ahead of us. As we get into sector 2, the Mercedes has damage as he hit the AlphaTauri on the rear end. Look how slow he is as we lose it on the curb again. Same corner. I think the soft tires are getting a little bit tired at this point. Now they're overheated as well as the Alfa Romeo passes us round the outside, but we have a guy stopped on track. I think he's out of the race. Let's see as we get on the power. The rear end slides a lot. Again, another mistake on the same lap. The tires were too overheated after that spin. As we get into first gear, kick spin the car to on the right direction, and I think it's time to box onto the medium tires, and that's I think exactly what I'm gonna do at the end of this lap. But here in the middle of lap 20, another safety car comes out. Safety car number 3 this race. That's probably the highest number of safety cars I ever had on this game. This helps us a lot though, because we can now change tires onto the medium compound, and we won't have to catch up on track. We can just close down to the end of the safety car just before the restart. That's exactly what we do. Fresh mediums on, and we're gonna go ahead to restart the race after the third safety car, lap 23 onto 24. We are behind a Haas. This race is looking dismal for now as the Mercedes go really wide. Let's see if we can make a move on him as he doesn't get a good exit. But I think we're going to be slightly too far to risk the lunge down the inside. Yep. High down as there is really messy ahead as the Alfa Romeo overshoots the turn. And let's see what happens later. Lap 25. The Alfa Romeo is holding back the Mercedes and pushing him right into me. Is that good for them? Not really. He's losing a lot of time, but DRS is still not on as the Mercedes go really wide. We get on the curb again. And honestly, right now in the cockpit, my confidence was near zero. Literally non-existent. I was spinning everywhere. I didn't know what was the cause of that problem. Maybe the issue was that the tires were slightly underheated after the safety car restart. But honestly, right there in the cockpit, it didn't feel good. As you can see, we're going wide again into turn 1. The tires are pretty decent after the spin, of course. But we skip towards lap 31 now. Playing catch up to the rest of the grid as the AlphaTauri ahead retires. Will that be another safety car? Yes, it is. But now this is a good safety car. It really helps me out. As you can see, we're going to change our strategy to get onto new soft tires. It's qualifying softs, so they're not going to be used at all. Maybe like 3 or 4%. As you can see, we're jumping into the pits and it's going to be a 5-lap sprint race towards the end when we restart after the safety car. It should be around lap 34, so we're going to have 2 laps to get as high as possible as we get into our box and change tires. I think for the 3rd time this race. As you can see, really fresh soft tires. This should give us a huge advantage over the guys who hasn't boxed, but they might box at the end of this lap. We're going to see. As you can see, lap 34, 2 laps to go. It's going to be a really short sprint race here to get up, hopefully into the podium positions. But we're going to see. As we can see, sector 3 before the 2 last bends as the leader goes already. And the Red Bull hasn't have a good restart. And let's see, can we catch him napping into turn 1? I don't think so. We're a little bit too far away to risk that lunge. But we go too wide on the curb. And we get hit up slightly. Could that be floor damage? No, it's not. Everything is nice and green. As we head up the hill, we lost a little bit of time to the Red Bull, but we will see. It might get messy on this lap, as it is the second last lap of the race. And we're going towards the end as the Red Bull goes really wide. It cuts the corner and is going to overtake the Haas with ease. But I don't know how much of a legal overtake that was, as this is the last lap of the race. The Haas is really slow. He might have some damage as we both go wide out of turn 1. And head up the hill towards turn 3. Heavy braking zone, but the Red Bull is really cutting corners here. What is going on? That's not how you're supposed to drive in Formula 1, as there's a lot of carbon fiber flying in the air. Polystyrene blocks all over the track. They got forced wide, really wide. And there's a half spin from the Red Bull. Does he have damage? He probably does from hitting that wall. That wasn't a clean fight as he understeers really, really wide. I need to be careful. But the Alfa Romeo goes in the middle of the track and overtakes us both. But now we're going to the last 2 corners. But remember, we had a 5-second penalty mid-race. Probably some of you didn't spot it. But we had that for someone hitting us on the back during the safety car, which will get called back at the end of this race, as this penalty was pretty much not my fault, as the game mechanic under the safety car is pretty broken in F1, as whoever touches you or you touch them, you get both of you get a 5-second penalty. As you can see, the podium celebrations, the Alpine won the race. He had a good pace throughout the whole race, so I think that was really well deserved. As you can see, collecting our rewards for the podium pass. And let's see what's the gaps at the end, as we had a 5-second penalty. We are 4.2, which means exactly what I said. As you can see, that was the final table for the end of this race. I finished first because of deleting that 5 second from my final time, and that was how we finished the race. So I'll see you all next week, and see ya.